So, I don't really know why I'm making this video, other than for sentimental reasons, I guess. And the beginning of this is going to be a very long explanation with basically no, visuals other than just me being in the game and not doing anything. But the story needs to be explained before I can actually get into anything important here. So, I basically gave up on doing Pokemon complete Pokedexes or living dexes halfway through Gen 7. I did it for Gen 8. And then for the original Moon, I caught everything that you could in the game without importing from older gens. And then for Ultra, I started doing that, and I just basically got burnt out. And then since then, I kind of haven't. I didn't do it for Shield. Started kind of doing it for Scarlet, but and then there were other games in between. But point is, I kind of stopped doing that, but that's because I always start fresh every generation. Back when Gen 6 was current, Joel started doing this. He wanted to have a full living dex in Pokemon Bank of everything caught in Gen 6, and, when possible, his OT, but there were some things that were version exclusives that we couldn't really do. I helped a little bit with that, but, mostly he caught them all, bred them, all that stuff. And then Gen 7 comes out, we added some new stuff to that, and then it kind of hit a snag a little later, but that's kind of beside the point. Relatively recently, as in, within the last, 6 months, he wanted to, add in all the Gen 8 and 9 stuff, and so I kind of was, I can't say I helped with it necessarily, as much as I was just kind of there while it happened, because I enjoyed the process. And so we caught all that stuff. I had to catch some stuff from my games to send over. I never did the Sword Shield DLC, for instance, so I did that, got, the legendaries from there and that sort of thing. And then after doing, most of this, getting down to only a few things missing, he decided to restart everything, redoing the entire collection, where every Pokemon comes from its debut generation. And so this involved... let's start by saying this is nowhere near, any sort of completion yet. It's, maybe a fifth of the way through, if that. But immediately there's snags, because Gen 1 and 2, to transfer up, they have to be the Virtual Console versions. And we didn't have those. I had Red on my system, but he wanted to get his own, so we looked into homebrewing 3DS, did that, got Blue, caught everything in that, moved up to Crystal, caught everything in that, which I had to help with by playing through a copy of Silver on my system, which I also had to homebrew. It was a whole process. He's going to eventually do a series, or maybe just one video, I don't know exactly, documenting all of this in detail. I find it interesting. I don't know how many other people will, but it's... I don't know. I like all the nitty-gritty details that go into building a full collection like this. Fast forward to now. He finished Gen 2. We didn't have... I have a copy of Emerald that I'm not willing to reset, and we don't have any other Gen 3 games. So, we're looking at options for that. Emerald is fucking $200 online, but he caved in and got one. I think it was with the shipping, it was 180, so it was not quite 200, but it was still way too fucking much money. We currently lack the ability to transfer up from Gen 3 to a higher gen, because we don't have a system that can do that. I have an original Fat DS that is modded to have a capture card thing, that has the broken bottom screen, which you need to transfer stuff, so that we can't use that one. I also have a DS Lite that just won't power on. So we're gonna have to buy another DS, which is not too expensive. It looks like they're $40. But we also just didn't have a Gen 4 game, and so this needed to be fixed. He was gonna... Platinum apparently is going for $80 now. which is less than I expected. I thought it was something fucking ridiculous, but apparently that's mostly HGSS. So we were going to cave in and probably buy that. Later gens we mostly have covered. It was just kind of 3 and 4 that were the main issues. But I also realized an issue. With every Pokemon coming from its debut generation, we also needed for unknown exclamation point and question mark, those would have to come from Fire Red or Leaf Green, which we don't have. Which means playing through an entire one of those versions all the way to the post game just to catch those fuckers. And it's like, I don't want to fucking buy this game for that. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, hold on, Martin has a copy of Leaf Green, I think? Actually, here, you know what? This isn't the order that I was expecting the story to go into, so bear my, jank-ass, whatever the hell this process is. But, so, back in the day, when we were still living together, Martin was working on a Gen 4 Living Dex, which is something we're going to be getting into in a minute here, and couldn't get Deoxys because it's event only. I only had one. I didn't want to give mine up. And so, funnily enough, this was, during the age of... This was during the age of people sending us stuff in the mail. This game has Deoxys, according to the front of it. I believe this was sent to us by Borax. And so, here's the story with this game. You're gonna have to watch this through the... Oh god, why is it so fucking yellow? Ugh. Oh, so you can see me in the camera. God, what the fuck was I saying? So yeah, this copy was from years ago, and when it was sent to us, it had a Deoxys in it, which was hacked. Not a legit one. Giving up a legit one would be kind of crazy, I guess, but yeah. And I still have that thing. I'll go back to it later. But after getting the stuff off of that game, Martin then reset it, and was going to just kind of do a normal playthrough. But then decided, for some reason, at some point, after hitting Celadon, hey, you know what would be cool is if I tried to get a shiny Eevee. So he saves in front of the Eevee. It took like 10 tries to get this fucker. This shiny Eevee showed up frickin' immediately. And again, this was like 2012, 2013. This was a while ago. He gets the shiny Eevee, and I'm like, how the hell did you get that lucky? But he keeps playing through the rest of the game, up until Silphco. Saves in front of the guy with the Lapras. I'm gonna get a shiny Lapras. I'm like, this is a mistake. Don't get a shiny Lapras. It's not gonna be that lucky again. And, no, there was no shiny Lapras. That didn't end up happening. But, he wanted to get that. Saved in front of it, never moved from that spot. I now have this game, as of yesterday. I have picked up the Lapras non-shiny, saved over it, and I'm moving on with our fucking lives. Because I need to complete this copy of Leaf Green, so I can trade the shiny Eevee off of it into Emerald, clone it, and then reset it so that Joel can play through it to catch the stupid unknown. And because, Fire Red and Leaf Green are wonderful games that have no flaws, it's not good enough to just beat the Elite Four. You have to also catch 60 Pokemon and do the entire Sevi Islands quest with the freaking Ruby and Sapphire plates to fix Bill's machine. Have I fought these guys yet? So yeah, I have to do that to send the thing off, and then Joel has to do that to get the unknowns. And so the thing is, this was Martin's game. I didn't have this in my possession until yesterday, because we made it a point to drive out to where we used to live, where he still lives, met at a restaurant. I brought this GBA and 2 DSs for the express purpose of making sure that this game actually was the leaf green copy, because we didn't remember for certain. God, so I wanted to test that, and then I wanted to borrow his copy of Platinum with the full living dex in order to breed Glameow and Stunky, and maybe Misdreavus and Murkrow, because those are not in Platinum, and my Pearl version is like under an embargo that I don't want to move anything off of it because my trade count is the minimum it could possibly be for a full dex, and I don't want to ever ruin that. So that game basically just cannot go anywhere. So I was expecting to do this, but then he decides, while we're there, you know what? Like, you know, I liked putting together this collection and everything. I'm proud of it, but it's not doing me any good sitting in this cartridge. I'm not going to play this game ever again. You can just have this. Joel offered to pay for it also, so it's, you know, whatever. But, so I now have this game, and I will switch back to it after I finish this trainer battle, I guess. Which, you know, has a full dex in it. The PC was stuffed full with, like, only frickin' 2 available slots. And so I have been going through the very lengthy process of getting off everything on it that I would consider to be of worth. I basically spent the entire day doing this, because I basically can't bring myself to actually reset this game until everything on it is just something that I don't really care about that much. You know, I was asked specifically to get the teams off of it, and, like, all the event Pokemon and everything, which I was going to do anyway, but, I felt like I had to go even further than that, and basically it's kind of, like, mostly just anything that was, like, difficult to obtain. I kind of want to get off of here. Okay, so I'm going to switch this game, just to show real quick. The team was, we have Keith, the Venusaur, Pumpkin, the Snorlax, the in-game trade Jinx, Angus, the Sandslash. There was a Venomoth called, Atlas. I put that one in the box. I picked up this Poliwrath yesterday just to have one more Pokemon. I'm gonna have to rush through this game at some point soon. But that is a little beside the point. So let me save that and switch back to Platinum so I can get to the actual point of this video. Bro, you want to fucking pause or something? Okay. Just turn it off, whatever. So, what we're going to be looking at here is basically the remnants of this game. Let me go back to 2-screen mode. Sorry, I should have been on the top screen mode for earlier, and I just didn't think about it. So, yeah, this is an old save file. I've been doing a lot of trading off of this. Let me see. It's 492, because it still doesn't have Deoxys. The hacked Deoxys never actually went into this game. Jesus Christ, 195? Okay, hold on. I took a picture earlier. Before I started this Exodus, that was at 93. I've been doing this shit all day. It's so slow. You can't trade from the PC. It has to be from the team. The animation is like 2 minutes long every time you do it. There's saving a lot of data every time you interact with the PC. So these are some of the last things that are going to come off of it. I need to do 2 more slots. I think I know what one of them will probably be. Let's go grab that. There's a little buddy here in the daycare that has been putting in a lot of work. Oh, I guess not recently. I think I accidentally pulled it out earlier and whatever. But, I feel like we might as well save the Ditto. It deserves better. So I guess we'll look through the PC here and, see what other stuff is left on this, and which last thing is going to be coming with me. So starters would be a high priority, but my reasoning for what I'm taking off of this is more or less just, is it something that I don't have on my Platinum copy that would be annoying to get? And I do have all the starters on that one because I have them on my Emerald cloned from various sources. I forget where the hell they came from. The 3 Johto ones were definitely Coliseum. I guess I probably restarted Fire Red for the Kanto starters and maybe like a Sapphire copy or something for the others. I don't know. But I've got them on there. So I don't really see any need to trade those off. I'll point out the holes as we see them. So Butterfree and Beedrill were, these are like the dongle ones, the GB insertion Pokemon. Arbok, Sandslash, same thing. Ninetales and Growlithe. I didn't do Arcanine because this one was bred. I figured I'd catch the one that was actually wild caught. Here's another thing. There's occasional Pokemon like this that I don't think were ever used, but have nicknames anyway. Okay, this one was met at level 36. It's still 36. This was used for like 2 battles. I can't really call this one even a temporary team member. I think that's fine. Let's see. Machamp and Golem, just because they're trade evos, I figured why not. Even though, you know, obviously trading's not an issue for me at the moment. There's still an aspect of me that thinks it is. I didn't get Alakazam because I've got one of those in my other copy. Kingler, I have a very stupid reason for. We'll see that later. Gengar was a GBA. This was the shiny Gyarados. There's the Ditto. Omastar has a stupid reason. Aerodactyl's just kind of rare. Legendaries, Dragonite, just because it's annoying to evolve. I don't think there's anything else here that's of interest. Every Pokemon in this should be with this OT. I have been very thorough with checking that. Starter, same deal as before. There's a Politoed, there is a Slowking, Fortress was an Emerald insertion thing. Same for Shuckle and Ursaring. Kingdra's a trade evolution, Porygon 2 is a trade evolution. Didn't grab Scizor because I've already got one in the other copy. And we've got Legendaries plus Tyranitar. I think those are the only ones missing here. Oh yeah, so yeah, Ludicolo, C-Dot were GBA insertion. Breloom, I have a stupid reason for. Sableye, Mawile, GBA. Flygon is not in Platinum. Zangoose, Seviper, Lunatone, Solrock were GBA. Armaldo was just rare. I have a Milotic already, otherwise I'd probably grab that one. By the way, when I say Armaldo's rare, I mean with a even ID number. Claw fossils are hard to find. I just figured I'd grab that, because why not? Huntail, Gorbis, trade evolutions. Love Disc we'll get back to. Salamence, Metagross, high evolutions. Bunch of legendaries. I grabbed Infernape because it was the only Sinnoh starter I didn't have. Roserade just because the stone is kind of rare. Mismagius, Honchkrower, not in Platinum. Skuntank's not in Platinum. Neither is Purugly, but I've got one in there already. It was a team member. Garchomp, high evolution. Munchlax, that one was actually a Pokewalker from my Soul Silver. I grabbed that one just because I thought it was interesting. Everything from this point I think is just weird evolution methods, so Weavile, Rhyperior, Electivire, Magmortar I've got in the team right now. Gliscor, Porygon Z, I have a Galid in Platinum already. Probopass, Dusknoir, Frostlass, Rotom, and then legendaries. I only grabbed the Probopass because it had a stupid name. It was called Doo-Wop. And speaking of things with stupid names, here's ones that let me check if they were ever used. We have Whaley McWhalerson. I enjoy these names, but It looks like they were never used, so they're fine. We don't need to take those. And then, yeah, everything else from that point should be legendaries. These ones, I don't know how to feel about. This is just a random-ass Bidoof named Carl that was never used. I don't know why it's here. These were from a Soul Silver playthrough that apparently got, like, aborted or something. I feel like there's a part of me that's like, oh, I should grab them anyway. You know what? Fine. Who do we leave behind? I don't need another Ditto. The Ditto should go back in the PC so that it isn't, you know, it'll be released with the rest of these when the game gets shut off, and it won't just be abandoned at the daycare. It'll be fine. And, oh, I'm a big fan of this one in here. We have A, B, C, D, letter E, F, G, letter H. And there's a few of them that just, you know, I guess the naming convention changed early on. So, I realized that was like a good 10 minutes of me just kind of looking at the PC very slowly and listing off Pokemon, and it couldn't have been very interesting, but whatever. I just kind of did it for my own documentation, partly. Man, the game takes a while to save. Let me actually look at the Poké Shops real quick. Hey, remember when I used to use this thing as a timer for my, like, Metroid Prime videos? I would just kind of like set this on a box while I was recording, and I would, like, I would set it to like 9 minutes, and when it would go off, I would know I have to wrap that segment up soon. Good times. Here's the Dex. There's no reason to look at it, but it sure is, you know, complete. Other than Deoxys. That hole will never be plugged. This game will have that. I could trade the Deoxys over. I'm not going to. This is just going to be left unresolved. So, let me actually switch over to the other copy then, my copy of Platinum, and we'll see the collection as it has been moved over, and I'll explain the ones that were kind of interesting. So yeah, as I said at the beginning, I don't know what the hell this video is, but I don't know, I just wanted to do it for... I thought, you know, parts of it were an interesting story, at least. We'll take one last look at that file before it, you know, gets shut off for good. So, in this game, let me see, I've got the, yep, 173 trades. God, that makes me feel dirty. It was, I mean, it should be the same increase as the other one, but, it was 71 before I did all this. Do I have fodder in the team? Yes, I do. Most of it's dead. I have had such a fucking problem with catching fodder, so first let's take a look at the PC situation here. So, because I did the full Living Dex in Pearl, I didn't really feel like I needed to do it in this one. The way I had this set up originally was like the first 7 boxes were spaced out for the local, like the Sinnoh Dex, and there was a bunch of empty spots everywhere. When I started having to do this mass migration, I just grabbed everything that wasn't like a final evolution or something else I cared about in some capacity, like fucking Ice Starly here. And they all got traded and then released in the other game. They weren't, it's like, I don't care, whatever. So these were basically the only survivors. Apparently this, you know, Raticate was worth something to me, but I don't know. These are the only legendaries I have in here. I think all the other ones must have gotten transferred up to another gen. At one point I would have remembered which, but I don't currently. Okay, now we start getting into the riffraff, so it actually goes backwards from the end here. Let's just take a look. So, these are just HM slaves. These are the eggs that I bred while we were at the restaurant, before I, like, knew for certain that we were gonna be able to use the copy of the game. Here's my original Platinum team. Take a look. We don't have to go through all this, but this is the attempted recreation of the second Platinum team that I did that was in that Nuzlocke that I couldn't actually save at the end. So I tried to kind of recreate it after the fact just because I was sort of attached to the team. I finished leveling up a couple of them, but not most of them. This was my Diamond team, which I played after Platinum because I did that run basically just to tweak for crap, like get Darkrai and Shaman. There's the Love Disc. So I have one like this that is in my copy of White. You know, it was just caught the day we got married, and so holding on to that, sentimental reasons. These were Martin's teams. We have the original Platinum team. This was a Soul Silver team, including the shiny here. I don't know why I'm looking at this one specifically, but yeah. And then, you know, this was also the game where you could, if you had the event Arceus, you could get one of the Sinnoh legendaries at the beginning, and so he did that and got Giratina. This was part of the start of a solo run that never went anywhere. So, you know, I backed that one up, and then here's just Shiny Gyarados. These are starters that I have mostly cloned off of Emerald. Everything up here should be my Emerald OT. This, I think, was my Diamond OT. No, this was my Fire Red, apparently. This was my Soul Silver. This was the Pokewalker one that I mentioned. This was my Diamond, as was this Shaman. That was gotten illegitimately. We tweaked to this one. So that is technically not a legal Shaman because that event was never released. Here's where we get some weird stuff. So, you know, there's the Deoxys. It's part of this row because these are all the ones that were on that copy of Leaf Green. We have Bahamut and Chica here. Here's the Deoxys, you know. Looking at it here, it looks like it could have been legitimate, because this is the correct level for a Kanto Deoxys, but the in-game caught location when it was in the original game was not Birth Island, so this thing was definitely hacked in, but it's still kind of cool to have. These, I have no idea. Some person named Kevin with a HGSS copy caught this Kingler at level 40 and then leveled it up once, or maybe it got leveled up while breeding, I don't know. But this Breloom was caught at level 4 as a Shroomish, which is a valid level 4 in Viridian Forest through Headbutt. And it was leveled up, and yeah, I have no idea who Kevin is. I kind of want to ask and see if Martin remembers who that is. Then we start getting into... My brothers have some stuff in this copy. They've just ended up here. So, Jordan has these off of his Diamond, and this was off of an original Sapphire copy. I feel like my old copy of Sapphire must have gone through some serious journeys, because I played through that thing myself. At one point, ended up resetting it and letting... I think it was Jenna and Jeremy borrowed it, and I don't know where it went after that. This might have been a different copy of the game that this Latias came from. I really don't know. But speaking of Jeremy, here's a bunch of stuff from him. Here's just a random-ass Mantine and Magikarp from some Heart Gold copy that he had. Also, here's a probably leaf green Omastar that was his. Here's this from Heart Gold, and this. Why we have... I don't know where these two Latias came from. Like, I mean, I can tell what games they came from, but I think this one was in Martin's collection. I don't know what the fuck this other one was. But also Shiny Poliwag that Jeremy caught. I have the original one in my copy of Emerald to be cloned for, you know, posterity. One of them just somehow made it up into this game. I couldn't tell you how. Those are all the ones that I have, like, specific stuff to talk about, I think. From this point on, it's just, you know, back up all the legendaries, because you might as well. Any, well, legendaries plus these two. Figure no reason not to save them. Any gaps that you see in the collection, like, you know, Latias and the Weather Trio, are all, you know, in these boxes, so that's why. These are all events. So we've got... This was a Pokemon Ranch Mew. I also have one of these in my Pearl copy. I believe it was the same 500 unknown filling in the gaps for both of these. We had to get a second copy of Ranch and just kind of shift everything through games using that. That was a fun experience. Here's the shiny legendary beast, Celebi. This is the Regigigas that can unlock the Regis in Platinum. I'm glad I still have one of these. Also from Ranch. And, yep, this is a Ranger Manaphy. We both had to play through Ranger, or no, I think we bought 2 copies of Ranger. One of them was already finished and one wasn't. I had to play through Ranger, I don't think Martin did. And you better believe when Joel's doing the full Gen 4 collection, he's going to need another one of these, and so apparently using the homebrewed 3DS, you can erase the save on that and recollect Manaphy, if I'm understanding that, so that's what we're going to try to do. I like how this was hatched in the foreign building. That's cool. This was the Dark Raikou in my game. Yeah, I don't know what I was looking for there. And then, yep, Toys R Us Arceus. These were from Battle Revolution. I didn't remember picking up more than one of these, because I've definitely got copies of these in my Pearl also, but here they are. And this is just a flying Pikachu from Pokewalker. That should be all that. Then this is basically just getting into the stuff that was backed up because I felt like it. I covered all of these when I was looking over the collection in the other game and pointing out the holes. Yeah, there's just various trade evolutions and such. This is my Ditto, it's just here for convenience reasons. And, yeah, I think that's basically it. So, only other thing worth mentioning about this is, I am poor as hell in this game. So right there, that 20k, that's actually a lot more than I had before. I got down to like $300 at one point until I checked my bag and I saw I had some Stardust I could sell. These fucking Bidoofs and Starlies and shit that I'm having to catch to trade over are not staying in the ball. It's very annoying to me how frequently they break out. I tried catching Magikarp and it was just as bad, even though it's a higher catch rate, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I have a very weird selection of items in this game. Like, why the hell do I have 4 upgrades? It's because I got everything of value off the other game. I cleaned out the entire TM pocket. I checked for all the, like, you know, held items or other items that would be useful. Also, I know there's going to be one of you who's like, oh, you had some star pieces there, you weren't actually hurting for money. No, joke's on you, I sold like half of these already. Star pieces can be turned in for shards in this game, I didn't want to get rid of all of them. But, yeah. This, like, I want to know why I have 2 lustrous orbs and 3 adamant orbs. Like, what the fuck happened there? Actually, the extra adamant orb probably came from that copy of Diamond that I played through. Never mind. That would make sense. 4 leftovers. Possibly even more, because I think some stuff in the PC might be holding it too. But yeah, despite trading all that crap onto this game, this one has a considerably smaller Pokédex. Because I definitely do not have everything. I could if I worked towards it, but I don't care. So, I guess I will trade over those last few things. I was going to do that on camera, but you don't need to see it. This video has already gone on longer than it needed to. I'll clean those off, like clean that copy out, and then, yeah, I guess we'll be restarting this game and Joel will be catching shit in it. I don't know if any of that will be recorded or streamed, but yeah. Don't decide to do this, because this is bad. Justice for Carl. I felt bad. I did one more wave. I think I got everything. I left a couple Pokemon that were nicknamed, but they didn't have any experience on them, so they were caught, named, and then never touched. So I don't feel as bad about those. Pretty sure Carl was an HM slave in that Spiritomb only run. It was also never used in battle, but I had a feeling if I left Carl behind, people would be sad. So, that's the last of it. I am so sick of doing this. So like I said before, this is bad. Don't ever mass trade stuff between games. It'll be bad. I'm so glad that you can move stuff, you know, en masse with like bank and home and stuff. Also, people are gonna be like, I thought you cleared out the TM pouch. Yeah, I didn't count the ones that were like purchasable, but I was out of items to send, so I sent those. Anyway, this is actually the end.